Hello students, welcome to the chapter Interface Python with MySQL. This is the part 6 of this particular chapter, and today we are going to discuss how to format table data with the help of the Tabulate library. So till now, whatever data we displayed in through Python from MySQL, it is displayed in this format. So as you can see, this is not a user-friendly way of displaying data. Why it is not a user-friendly way of displaying data? Because it does not contain any proper margin. It does not even have the header information. Just by looking at this, you cannot say what are these 1001, 1003, 1004, etc. And what does this name signifies, that also we cannot make out from this particular output. So what we are going to do, we are going to install an additional library called Tabulate, and after installing the additional library Tabulate, what will happen? The original table, which was like this before, will transform into the table which you are seeing in the right hand side. So what you can say that the table that we are getting towards our right hand side is a more user friendly version of displaying data as compared to the table to our left. So for this we require an additional library. What is the name of that additional library? The name of that additional library is Tabulate. So let's move on. So what is the Tabulate library in Python? The Tabulate library provides a function Tabulate. That means it is not a very complex library. Within this library we have only one function. The name of that function is called Tabulate. And with the help of the Tabulate function, we can use it for formatting data in a user-friendly manner in the form of a table. So for displaying data in a user-friendly manner in the form of a table, we use the Tabulate library. Okay, now let's go on to the installation. For installation, what you need to do, you need to go to the command prompt in case of Windows and in terminal in case of Mac and type pip install Tabulate. So now I think all of you know how to install the library mysql.connector. All of you have installed it, and I have made a pictorial video also regarding that. So you'll follow the same steps, and there in the command prompt you will type pip install Tabulate. So let's go and do the installation. So this is my terminal. Here at first let's see the list of additional libraries which are available in this particular computer. So for that, how to see the complete list of libraries available? For that you will have to give the command pip space list. Then what will happen? It will show me the list of additional libraries available. So as you can see here, there are various libraries available here. So if you just see, I have mysql connector Python also, which was installed as explained in the video. But here, see in T, if you see, I do not see the library Tabulate. So let's go and install this library Tabulate. For that, you need to ensure that you are connected to the internet. Am I connected to the internet now? Yes, I am connected to the internet. So now I am ready to install the library Tabulate. Let's go and install it live. So for that, give the command pip install Tabulate. So now data is being downloaded from the server. Yeah, and now installation is completed. So here, as you are getting the message, successfully installed Tabulate 0.8.7. 0.8.7 is the current version of the Tabulate. When you give the pip install command, it will download the latest version for you. Okay, so if you are getting some error in the installation, you should check out whether Python is added to path or not. If you do not know what I mean by whether Python is added to path or not, you can go and check out my video on how to add Python to path. That you will only do if you are getting some kind of error. Now let's give the command pip list. So as I give this command, now here in T you can see that I have the library Tabulate now. Now since I have installed it, now I am ready to use my library. So let's go and use it. So there are some steps for using this library. As you know that for using any library, at first we need to import that particular library. So the step 1 says that we need to import that library. What is the library? The library is Tabulate. How to import it? It can be imported by the following format. From Tabulate, import Tabulate. That means before the start writing the lines of code, at the first line or in the second line, you need to import the library in this manner from tabulate import tabulate. After that, what we need to do, we need to specify the headers. That means by default, Python does not display the column name or the header of a table, but tabulate library allows us to display the headers. So for that, you need to specify the headers. So our headers in case of employee table was employee ID and employee name. So we can specify the header in this format. You take any variable name and then within list, you have to give the header names separated by column within single or double quotes. Now it must be kept in mind that the number of columns in the header should match the output of the Python programming language. So if in the output which you are bringing from MySQL there are 2 columns, you need to give 2 headers there. Okay, after that we can use the tabulate function. So this is the form syntax for using the tabulate function. The syntax will be more clear when we will go for the application. So now let's apply it. So what I'll do, I'll display some data. So write a program in Python to display entire data from the EMP table and display it using tabulate. So now if I just take you to the terminal, here you can see that this is my employee table. But this I am not opening via Python, this I am opening via SQL. Now I will display this data via Python and I'll display it in a user friendly manner. That means in this format. Okay, so let's go and do it. At first I'll not import the library and see what is the drawback, and then I'll add this lines of code, these 3 lines of code, and then the table will be in a much beautiful format. Okay, so let's go on. This is a simple program in Python. You know how to display data. So I'll just use the same program itself, and there I will use these 3 lines of code so that I can format the data well. Okay, for that you have to import SQL connector. So import mysql.connector as ms. Okay, yeah, I need to modify it. So import mysql.connector as ms. After that, you know what this means. If you do not know, you can just go and check out my earlier parts. Then I'll make a connection object x equals to ms dot connect. Let's give the attributes. Host equals to localhost because my database is in this particular machine itself. Then user equals to, by default it is root in my machine. This is the username of MySQL. Then I need to give the password. There is no password in this machine, so I'll just leave it blank by giving an empty string here. And database, the EMP table resides in the database Python DB. If you look at my earlier videos, I have already stated that I have already created this EMP table within which database? Within the database Python DB. So I'm just giving the database name. The database name here is Python DB. Okay, now let's test the connection. For testing the connection, we have the function is connected. So if x dot is connected, then let's test the connection by displaying a message like success. Yes, I'll just save it and run it. Yes, I'm getting the output as success. That means I can just proceed on with my coding. Okay, so now let's create the cursor objects. All this I have already taught in the previous parts. You can just go and check them out in my playlist on interface Python with MySQL. So CUR equals to, it's a cursor object, cursor. Okay, so cursor will help in movement of data from one row to another. After that, we will have to bring the entire data. How to bring? For that we have to use the SQL commands. How to use it within Python? For that we require the execute function, cur.execute, select star from table name. What is the table name? The table name is EMP. So I am giving here select star from EMP. After that we need to, whatever data you have bought, it should be stored in a variable. Let's give it a name. Let's give it the name of data. I am giving the variable name as data. You can take any other name for that matter. So data equals to, I need to access the data with the help of the cursor object. So data equals to cur dot fetch all. Why fetch all? Because I do not require any selective data, I require the entire data. So the entire data will be bought and it will be stored in the variable data. Now how to display it? What is the concept we know till now to display? So for that we have used the for loop, which is for I in data. Then within that I have to print what? I have to print I here. Okay. Now what we'll do, we'll just run this program and see how the output, what is the output status till now. So I've just run this program and you can see that the output has been displayed in this format. The output is fine, but it is not very much user friendly. Now for making it user friendly, I'll add the lines of code for the Tabulate library. So I've already done the installation. Also remember, you will not do the installation again and again. It must be done only once, and once you do the installation, it will be there for as long as your PC does not run into any problem, it will be there. Okay. So now what we have to do, we have to import the library. So here just after import mysql.connector, I can just give it in the next line. I can import the tabulate function by the code from tabulate import tabulate. I have given this line, so line of code. Why I have given this line of code? Because this line of code will allow me to use the function tabulate. So now see, I am getting a warning here. What is the warning? Tabulate imported but unused. I have imported it but I have not used it yet. Therefore, I am getting a warning here. So now let's go back to the steps. So first step was import the library, already done. Next step was specify headers. That means now we have to specify the header name or the column names. Now what is the first column name? So if you can just see in the MySQL, the first column name is EID and the second column name is ename. This is the MySQL screen, mind you, but I want to display it in this format using Python itself, because users will not be able to see the MySQL screen, they will be able to see only the Python output screen, not the coding screen even. So let's give the header. So where do I need to give this codes of the tabulate function? I need to give this codes of the tabulate function after the fetch all function. So let's create the header, give it any variable name, h equals to, what are the headers here? It is employee ID. You can give any name here, whatever name you will give, it will be the first heading, and second is employee name. So let's give it the heading as employee name. Okay, so the header is done. After that, we will use the tabulate function. Let's see the syntax. The syntax of tabulate function is this. We have to give print, then tabulate function, then within bracket the data to be displayed. So let's go on and do it. So how to do that? Here, so now I do not require the 11th and the 12th line, because now we are using the tabulate function. So these two lines are not required. We are going to format it in a much better way. So for that, what I need to do, I need to use the syntax print tabulate, then within that, what is the first thing? The first thing we require is the data. As you can see here, data to be displayed. Where is the data to be displayed stored? The data to be displayed in our case is stored in the variable data. After that, what does the next line of the next part of the syntax says? Headers equals to h. That means whatever value variable name you have given for the headers, I have to give it now. So here headers equals to, headers is stored in the variable h. If you have taken a different variable, give that name, headers equals to h. You can also specify the headers here, but it might look a bit more complicated. So I prefer to put it in a different variable before using the tabulate function. After that, I have another attribute here, which is table fmt, which says that table format. There are various table formats available. Let's use one table format, which is PSQL, means plain SQL. If I use this table format, the design will be like MySQL. Okay, so now I'm done with it. So what I'll do, I'll just close the connection object. Closing is optional, but it's better to close it. So the 10th and the 11th line, as you can see here, is doing the work of tabulate. So now let's save it and then let's run it. Yes. Upon running, you find that if you can just compare the previous output and this output, the current output looks much more better and systematic because we have used the tabulate library here. Now you may ask that is there only one table format? No, there are various table formats. Let's go and check out the different table formats available. Okay, so here, yes, let's go and check out the table formats. So these are the possible table formats. You can just use any of these table formats, and by changing the names you will see that the design style of the tables is being changed. So let's check out some of the table formats. Let's check out the first table format, which is the plain format. So what I need to do, in place of table and FMT, in place of PSQL, now I'll just give here plain. I'll just save it and run it. So now you can see that this is the format. Now also it is that the display is systematic, but the lines are not appearing. Why? Because it is the plain format. Let's use a different format. So let's use this format called pretty. Okay, let's use the pretty format. So here in place of table FMT, what I have to write here, pretty. I'll just save it and run it. So now some kind of lines has come here. Also various other formats are there. Let's say if I want to display in the GitHub format, so I'll just give table FMT equals to GitHub and just run it. So here it is being displayed in GitHub format, but I prefer the MySQL format, so I just give the table FMT as PSQL. You can use any of the formats which I have shown in this particular table. You can just change it and see how it looks, and you can choose the most appropriate one for different purposes. So now if I run it, I am getting the plain SQL format. Now this tabulate library you can use in displaying anything from MySQL and displaying via Python. Here I have used written such a program which extracts the data from MySQL and displays it via Python. You can use it for anything else where data display is required. Okay. So that's all about the tabulate library. I hope that this session was useful. In the next session, I'll discuss how to design practical database applications. Okay, thank you very much. I'll see you again.